All right. We've got Phil Schuchman joining us today. And Phil is with ABC, owns ABC Home Improvement and Remodeling. There you go. Shout out. This is going to be a little bit of a different one today. The last couple months we worked with or talked with insurance agent and mortgage lender, and now we're getting a little bit more hands-on. Phil's actually on the job site today doing a kitchen remodel and going to ask some questions about kind of the physical side of real estate. And before jumping into that, just kind of want to talk about Phil as a person, how long I've known him, what I know about him as, not only a businessman, but a, personal family friend. So, gosh, Phil, I think, I got memories of going to your house in Florissant, since I was a little guy, probably 9, 10 years old, going over there with my mom and Lyndon, and we'd be hanging out with, God, I think he had that mini Doberman Pinscher, Buddy.
Old Buddy, yep, I forgot
Oh,
about him. He was a good
oh,
boy.
old Buddy. I remember being over there and uh gosh, before I even really had interest in home improvement, you were coming over coming over to our house in Ladue area doing everything. Flooring, I mean,
Mhm.
kitchen, baths. It was everything under the sun. It was always, I mean, call Phil. If we had a question, call Phil. Phil know what to do. So that's just kind of the
A
person
long
you
time
are.
ago.
Yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. Just kind of, touching on the person Phil is. I mean, always there, just knows what he's doing and is not one to, gatekeep or harbor information. He's just willing to share, which is important.
Absolutely.
That's why I think it's important to do this interview today because some people might be intimidated by, homeowners, a home remodel or, redesigning a kitchen or bath. It just sounds like it's too much on their plate, which it can be for the typical person. But when you've done it for as long as you have and have the experience, know what you're doing, I think that's pretty important. So enough of my intro. Phil, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you like to do when you're not working? And maybe tell me one thing I might not know about you.
All right. Well, I'm Phil Schuchman, owner of ABC Home Improvement. We do all things construction. Uh, from Ferguson originally, grew up there, moved to Florissant. Now I'm living in Edwardsville. Uh, One thing you might not know about me, I raised up doing this kind of stuff. My grandpa, uncle, dad always did this kind of thing, and I was always in on it. And that's what got me into it, and just gained my knowledge that way through them and experience.
All right, all right. So started out as a little dude doing the
Little
construction.
dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, what do you like to do when you're not working? What's Phil doing on the weekend or, in the
Not working. I'm an avid boater, and I'm into camping and just enjoying the outdoors.
hell yeah. I love it. I love it. All right, so tell us a little bit more about ABC. How long have you, well, I guess you just touched on that. How long you've been in home improvement and remodeling since you were a little guy? Question I don't
ABC
know,
itself has been in business since 2011.
2011,
Yep, but I've been doing that type of construction way longer than that. And I was a union laborer before that in my early 20s on to about 30ish, and then I started doing this full time.
what made you switch from union side to running your own show?
I just felt like it was more beneficial for myself to work for myself and just only answer to me
Yeah, I can
and the
respect.
customers.
And the customers, right, 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 right. Okay, okay. I guess I would like to know kind of, I feel like I have a pretty good idea, but what areas of the home does ABC, what do you guys specialize in? Do you say you specialize in any certain area, kitchen, baths, exterior? What do you,
We pretty much lean towards doing kitchen, bathroom remodels, basement finishings, general repairs throughout the home. Don't really do a lot of exterior work. We'll do decks here and there, maybe some fences, like privacy type fences. Short of that, that's pretty much it. We kind of like concentrating on the inside, making it beautiful on the inside for everybody.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone listening, that's good to know. I mean, if you're looking at that spring project or summer project, looking at that kitchen that needs new cabinets or that bathroom that tile's just from the '90s and needs a facelift. Phil and his crew or who you need to call. So I guess that is one question I have is so it's not a one-man show here. It looks like you've got kind of a crew going there.
Not a one-man show. I got Arna on the ladder, and I got Clayton right there.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Awesome.
Clayton is my nephew and also your cousin.
I'll say I know that guy.
You know that.
Yeah, good crew there. Good crew. It's always important to have extra set of hands. And I mean, yeah, it's not a one-man band there. He's got the labor to kind of back things up. So
We make things happen, that's for sure.
big things happen. I can vouch for that. Phil, I'd like to know for the folks listening too, which areas around St. Louis do you prefer working in? Is there any? I know you said you live in Edwardsville. Kind of where do you
I
like?
live in Edwardsville. I work in any part of town, really. Honestly, there's no boundary I won't go. Anywhere in the area of
Okay.
tri-state.
Got it. Got it. That's good to know. That's good to know. So being where you are right now, I'd like to know a little bit about this project you've got going on. It looks like it's pretty extensive. You guys are kind of down to
It
the bare
is
bones
expensive.
in that space there. Are you in a gut? Did you gut that?
Yep, I'll do a walkthrough real quick.
Yeah,
Right
let's
now,
go.
we're in O'Fallon, Illinois,
Okay.
working for some previous customers of mine. So this is a return client. Very nice people. Let me reverse the camera.
Yeah.
Right by Scott Air Force Base, so it's a big one just flew by. All right, here we go. This is walking in from the living room. Kitchen area was right here. There was a wall. This used to be a wall going all the way across with an opening right here.
Okay.
So we gutted that. We had to put a beam up right there. That's a new beam to support the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that up and got the walls opened up. Just moving around electric, putting in electric for under cabinet lighting and stuff like that. Getting all of that rolling. We had to move the stove down a little bit. So we're moving the electric for that, and we're going to vent it through the wall there. Just generally opening the walls where we need to get to stuff. We're building a pantry right here. It's going to have two separate doors with there'll be a bar in the middle, two separate doors. And it's not really a walk-in pantry. Just open the doors, and that's going to be all shelving
I like
with
that.
outlets right there to put like crock pots and stuff in. There's all the cabinets sitting there ready to go. And so we're putting down vinyl plank flooring throughout. After the cabinets are installed, we don't lay cabinets on top of vinyl plank. It will be crown molding all up, all around, everywhere
That's
where it
awesome.
needs to be.
That's awesome.
And
Phil,
that is
let me
the
ask.
extent of it right now.
I was gonna say, let me ask you. So this sounds like kind of a one-stop shop ABC, job here. Are they bringing anybody else in to do any of this work? Are you guys kind of
Uh,
handling it from front end to back
on this,
end?
on this, yeah, on this one, we don't really need any outside contracts. It's not anything we can't handle as far as the light electrical work. Not really any big plumbing work, so we're not bringing any electricians or plumbers in on this one. I'm able to handle the small electric we got to do here. Permits not required, so
Right.
that's where we go. But yep, I'm able myself to do light electric work and light plumbing work as needed without having to hire an expensive outside plumber or electrician.
I love it. I'm glad you
If
mentioned
that's the way if that's the way the customers want to go, some customers prefer to use, you know, a dedicated electrician or plumber on their jobs, and I'm fine with that too.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the whole one-stop shop aspect of your guys' business and crew, I think is important for people to know when it comes to, like you said, the lighter electric, lighter plumbing. I mean, somebody's been doing it for as long as you have and has that knowledge and again, keep it all in-house. That's
Definitely.
awesome. That's awesome. Now, what is that? So for someone looking to do, because everyone's watching HGTV these days, HGTV. And
HGTV.
yeah, HGTV and wanting to do, kind of getting their hands dirty on stuff like this. What does a timeline look on, a kitchen rehab? And it looks like more than just kitchen there. It looks like like you said, kind of like dining space as well, flooring. What does timeline look for someone like that? Front to end, gut everything previous out, put everything new in. What does that look like?
On one like this, about this size, we'll probably be here maybe 4 or 5 weeks. This one got a little few more things added to it, that beam, such as the beam.
Yeah.
That was unforeseen. We didn't know whether we were going to have to do a beam or not till we started getting into this wall. And
Okay.
sure enough, it was being a load bearing wall. So we had to do that. That added some time. And then also taking the soffits down right there. Soffits, see how they shortcut the
Ah,
wall right there?
yep, yep,
So
yep.
we ran into stuff like that. So that added some more time. But I bid this one originally for approximately 4 weeks, but I think it's going to be a little longer than that.
Okay.
But that's general timeline on a decent sized kitchen remodel would be
Yeah.
about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay. So about a month's time. Now, question on that specific one. Are those folks currently living there? Or is this like something that
Yes.
they're into? Okay. And
Yeah,
so,
house is occupied, so we always make sure we respect the living space. We keep our this closed off. We have it open now as we were bringing in material, but this stays closed off.
yeah,
We put down flooring protection and
yeah.
anything that like that needs to be done to protect the house as it's occupied.
Absolutely. From personal experience, living in a, rehab project, whether my own or just growing up, the family always had a project going on. The fact that you guys take those extra steps to protect the flooring or, mask off a specific room and whatnot goes a long way because a lot of times people don't have the convenience of making these improvements before moving into a home and they have to be done while being occupied. And again, it goes to, I think, what kind of person that you are and how your company operates there and taking the necessary steps and making sure it goes as smooth as possible because we know there's
Exactly.
some hiccups and some mess,
It's
but
all about making the customers happy because they're spending their hard-earned money trying to improve their house, and we like to make their dreams come true.
absolutely. I love it. I love it. And I appreciate you kind of taking us around that remodel there. So for somebody who wants to do something like this, but wants to be more like totally hands off and just kind of give you full control as the GC, would you be willing to offer a full service approach to where you would bring in like flooring samples for somebody to look at or, wall colors or, just kind of taking the steps away from, the initial steps away from the homeowner that typically maybe somebody might bring to you, hey, Phil, I want this flooring, I want this paint color, I want these cabinets. Would you, consider doing those preliminary things for a homeowner, taking that off their plate?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely can do that.
Oh,
Just got to do a consultation with them and find out what they're looking for, what their ideas are, and then I can do my research and go around and find products that I think fits their need versus from our meeting we had.
okay, that's extremely helpful because a lot of people are that way. Maybe they're too busy with work or they've got a family, they got kids that they're raising, and it's like, we want a new kitchen or we want a new bath, but we don't even have time to go and look at, what tiles. We have an
Exactly.
idea, here, Phil, here's a picture, kind of what I like or what I want. But for you to be able to offer something like that consultation, like you said, I know a lot of contractors are like, I'm not dealing with that. Just let me know what you want, exactly what you want, and we'll make it happen. So yeah, I think people will have an appreciation for that.
Another way that I do that too is I'll just show them a bunch of pictures of previous jobs we've done and ask them, what they like about that picture, and because I've already dealt with those products, and you know, tell them that I've already dealt with them products like that. And if they like it, we can go with that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just curious on the job that you're currently on, is that one where folks had kind of stuff picked out ready in mind, or did you bring ideas to them, or how'd that
So
one
I
go?
had a consultation with them and drew up their kitchen plans, and just told them what we can do, how it can be laid out, and then they took those plans up to. I like to use Hoods a lot for cabinets. Hoods Discount Improvement Center, Home Centers. Shout out to them. Uh, so they went up there and they did a kitchen design and came up with the style of cabinets they liked, and stuff like that. So they're basically picking out all their colors and materials and stuff like that. But I guided them along the way of what products to buy, what type of flooring, stuff like that.
Okay.
The countertops, they'll be onyx. So we got a guy for that as well, and I gave her the contact info for that.
Awesome. 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 Yeah, I agree with you there. Like you said, shout out hoods. They've got, I mean, everything under the sun there, but specifically at kitchen, cabinets and whatnot. Great place to shop for that. So, kind of wrapping things up here in a way, Phil, I'd like to know, kind of on the note we just talked about, if somebody's wanting to jump into this and wanting to get an idea on, like how much is it going to cost to, do my kitchen and whatnot. I know that is you had to unpack that question because there's a lot of things involved.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how do you prefer that process to work? If somebody's going to reach out to you, do you prefer before anything, just, I don't, Giuseppe, don't even, let's just, do you want to come out to the house to see things? Do you want pictures to be sent to you? Do you want a rough idea before going out and giving a bid? How do you prefer, like, what is the ideal situation for you? Phil, I'm telling you, I need a new kitchen. I'd like to update my kitchen. What is the first step in making that happen? Do you want to come out? How do you prefer it?
Oh, I do always ask to have pictures text to me. That way I know exactly what I'm going to be walking into, and it
Okay.
gives me an idea of how to come when I come. Ideas to present to the customer when I get to the house because I'm already having an idea of what we're looking at. So that's always a good thing, and also depends on the size of the job. Like a super small one, I could probably bid it just by looking at pictures. But a larger one where it's more involved, maybe needing a beam put up and stuff like that, have to get up in the attic and look for things. So that's typically how I do it. It honestly just varies job to job.
Job to job. So yeah, I mean, we live in a day and age where yeah, sending a photo or whatnot is not a very hard thing to do. And if that helps you, if it helps expedite the process, why not? I just don't want
Yep.
people to get the impression that you're going to be able to give them a full service, or I guess a everything included bid price just on photos alone. You probably need to go and you maybe
Right.
rough idea, but on the bigger ones, probably need to go check things out, do that consultation like you had mentioned. So, okay, well that helps a bunch. At the end here, I'm gonna wrap
Typically,
up.
also the way, sorry to cut in there. Typically, the way I bid jobs as well is I just come up with a labor price because it's really hard for me to bid material because the prices have been varying so much lately, and also depending on what product the customer picks out. It's just hard to bid labor or material. So I'll give like a general price range of what material could cost you, but I usually give a hard number on labor, and so that's what
Yeah,
I think works out best for me and the customer because they'll know what they're spending on my end, and then they got to budget for the material end.
absolutely. From working with you and working with different contractors, I think that's the best way. It's the most transparent, in my opinion. Getting that kind of straightforward labor approach, and then it allows the client or the customer homeowner at that point to, this is what I know I'm going to spend in labor, a rough idea in labor, and then if I need to start altering, the products, maybe not go full high end on the shower glass doors or whatever it may be, it lets you kind of shape your budget from there. So again, I think people will appreciate that approach. I'm glad you mentioned that.
I
I'm gonna
always try to guide the customers as well to different locations to buy the material. Who's got this one, who's got that one, the best price here, the best price there, better selection. Being
yeah,
that I shop at so many stores all the time, I kind of know who has what, when you're looking for a specific item.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another thing that I can help with.
Yep. I guess one more thing before I ask about the best way to contact you, your timeline right now. It sounds like you got it. Well, it looks like you got a pretty good sized project going there. If somebody's looking to consult with you or, talk about a potential kitchen, bath, flooring, whatever, how far out are you, Phil, from what's your timeline like looking at the next few weeks, months? What are we kind of looking like there?
We usually stay pretty busy and typically, especially during the spring, summer months, we are usually at least a month, if not a month and a half backed out. But
Yeah.
so if somebody wants to do a consultation, I usually try to make time sooner than that to accommodate and secure the job to put on schedule. The quicker anybody gets on schedule, the quicker that we can get to them.
Yep. Okay. That's good to know. And yeah, I mean, again, I think people will appreciate the fact that you're not just, oh, I'm ready next week because that,
You know,
then
I will never take on more than I think I can handle, or tell people a sooner timeline than what's actually true, because I don't like to raise people's expectations and then be disappointed.
right. And the fact that you are, kind of booked out right now, I think is telling of your work and what you do. I mean, people are looking to use you. So that's, yeah, we
Correct.
like the fact that, yeah, availability is, you maybe have to wait in line a little bit, which is okay. I think that should
And
be
most
expected.
people do. I rarely have cancellations.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So get in now. Get in now. On that note, what's the best way to contact you? Can I share? I got cell phone. I imagine you're on the job right now, so text is
Yep.
probably best way.
I prefer text messages or call. If I don't answer, it's because I'm working. Leave a message. Uh, Phone number 314-495-9206. Email address phil-abchandyman@att.net. Also on Facebook. Get on Facebook, type in Remodeling by ABC.
Mm,
And there's pictures on there. We haven't done it yet, but we'll add pictures of this project. But there's a bunch of past project pictures on there to see our quality of work.
yeah, man. Okay, good. I was going to ask about the Facebook page or social media, so I'll link that in to this video as well, along with the phone number and email. And one last little plug I want to put in before we wrap things up. Phil, like a lot of people, are looking for the next investment opportunity, personal. So, if we got folks out there that are considering selling, an older home or potentially looking to invest in somebody that has the knowledge to flip a home, cash investors, look, where can I put my money? Hey, we got somebody here that's interested in flipping a home for his own, personal business. So if anyone's out there that's got something that they're looking to, property that they're looking to sell that's, needing some work or something like that, Phil and his
Definitely.
interested in
That's
that.
we spent, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years prior to the coronavirus flipping houses. So we got a full history of flipping houses, working with investors, and I'm wanting to get back into that eventually. So always looking for anybody who wants to make some money if they're interested in investing. I have a portfolio of previous flipped houses, always good experiences, and always looking for anybody who may be wanting to sell a home that's in distress or just needs help getting rid of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't want to end this without talking about that. So Phil, thanks again. Thank you to your crew. We won't take any more of your time. We know you guys are super busy. Shout out Clayton. And we'll see you later on, okay?
Sounds good, Giuseppe. Thanks.
All right.